All right, episode 11. Thanks for hanging out. If you've made it this far, you're ready to see something new. As you know, at the end of last episode, here we go. We're just going to check the town project real quick, complete that, and then get some more oil. So, last episode, we completed making ourselves a full set of iron plate armor, which is not that much greater than what we had. Some of them were actually not as good, but it's cool to have a whole set. So we made the whole set. We've got it all equipped, and we're going to go try something new. So, player housing is pretty cool. It's a couple thousand gold for a home. I think it's 2,000. That's a lot. I decided to buy cartridges with all my money, which I'm going to do right here. Cartridge, or I can't spell, sorry. Oh, steel. I can't use them yet though, so wasted money for me. This is the last day of beta. I really crammed a lot of hours in this last day, and that's half my money for those cartridges that I just bought that I can't use yet. But I should be able to use them at level 20, which is a little more than a half of a bar, like 5% of a level. And so we'll go ahead and we've equipped the iron cartridges. We have 103 of them, as you can see, 102. And we have the steel cartridges ready for when we run out of iron cartridges or hit level 20. But the good thing to do would be to use up all the iron cartridges and get the XP while it's so relevant in damage, and then switch up to steel. I've not used a gauntlet, spear, great axe, any of that on this character. I used some of those on my first character. I would have made it farther to beta if I had stayed on one character, but I wanted to experience a different server, and it did start me in a different place, and it's a very much different experience on this different server. So anyways, you may remember this area from fishing and some of these other quests, but we're going to go to some farther away areas that we haven't been before, explore the map a little more, get some XP, find some new things. There's some hemp right there. That was the first time I saw hemp, was that one right there. And once you get to know the maps, you start to understand and memorize where certain harvestable, collectible, mineable, nodes, pickups, whatever you want to call them. Because they always spawn in the same spots. It's not like random. It's based on timers. So, for example, if I cut down a tree, I know that tree is going to come back as part of everybody's map. It's going to grow back in like 5 minutes. Same goes with like this iron vein and stuff. Nice. 40 iron ore. Here's another one. You know me at this point, I love the iron veins. I'll always stop and get it. There are so many points that can be used to upgrade your character that if you just kind of like even it out, you don't really have to really think about it. Here we've leveled up our rep with Windsword again. We're going to increase our standing gain. See how fast we can really gain rep here. There's some of that star metal, but I can't mine it yet. It's level 100. Vengato has reached level 20. So as soon as I run out of these iron cartridges, I'll switch to steel. This area up here, Cygnus, if we continue going, which we will, eventually up on that side ahead, we'll run into the Amrine mine. It's kind of a tongue twister. Fire looks cool in this game too. The water, all of the stuff looks really realistic. It's very, very nice. Feel like more, I guess actually the better way to say it is I feel less like I'm in a video game because it's more realistic and it's more based in nature. And there's all of these natural things like cutting down the trees and mining and fishing, and it really makes it feel kind of like it's like a digital Zen garden for me. I know a lot of people are playing like the lawn mowing simulator. That's cool. I got a big lawn, I gotta mow anyways. But this game has done a really good job at not making it feel like work or making it so helplessly a game versus like it feeling more real. I could see 5-10 years from now, because you got to keep in mind World of Warcraft's been around 20 years, so you got to keep in mind that virtual reality is around the corner, and you're looking at realistic games like New World. It would not surprise me in the future if Amazon came out with some sort of virtual reality controller / headset that like pairs with New World, where you could actually like be your player if you wanted to. That would be really interesting. A good metaphor, or I guess another example for what I'm talking about, is from the movie Ready Player One, when the IOI, which is like Amazon, is making like a virtual world that everybody loves it. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. Ready Player One. You should go check it out. It's about all of the classic video games mashed up in a movie. It's really awesome. Anyways, we're gonna run up this way, running northwest. We're running towards the Amrine mine. Dokido is here. I don't know who that is. This is Everfall, the town. We're going exploring. Here we go, and we're going to pick up some quests here, and then each town has its own reward system, its own quest lines. They're all very similar. It also has its own town board, but the factions are one of the only things that's consistent from town to town. Also, your storage shed is different.
From now on, anytime you like, visit me or the town board. You can take any tasks that suit your fancy.
So we're going to make our way around town. Oh, we leveled up again. So let's pick storage. Because it's a new town, we want to make sure we got enough space for storage. And at the time when I picked that, I was not aware that the storage sheds are not attached from city to city. There is a way to take stuff out.
You've noticed the towers of the ancients in our territory? I've often wondered what secrets they might contain. They have, But all we know for sure is that the ancients had knowledge that far surpasses our own. There's a researcher in town named William Heron. He claims the ancients knew ways of protecting against the corruption. Most definitely. But do him a favor first at the Tower of Arcturus. There's one particularly nasty guardian there preventing him access. Destroy it and tell William. He will be pleased.
There is a way to get stuff from a different city to this city storage shed, but I haven't figured that out yet.
Now here comes a proud warrior if I've ever seen one. If you're looking to knock some skulls around, well, you've come to the right place. I want to see if I can get Artificer Petrowski to crack a smile. She had an order of supplies coming from Weaver's Fen, but it never made it. Well, I did some scouting, and it's the lost pirates of Stone Tooth Terrace menacing the East Road out there. If you can thin out their numbers and put down Mr. Henry, I think that'll make Tekla show us those pearly whites.
Now as we make our way around the city and we pick up all of the quests, we want to make sure that we get everybody. Here's another one.
Survivalist Lee, or Fancy Pants as I call him, is an egotistical brute. And I find his fashion sense wanting. Absolutely not. I will not allow a man the likes of Adnal Lee to distract me from my work. I have a project underway that may help defend against the corruption. Possibly. The townsfolk of Riverworn Grotto once carried stone charms that protected them. Of course, the town was overrun by the Lost, but who knows? Bring me some of these charms to study.
Another one. Another. Alright, who else we got? Oh, in the pub. Don't forget the pub.
Hello. Are you new in town? I think you must be. That's good, you know? Fresh faces, confidence.
Alright, we the best. And it looks like we got them all. So, picking up some journal pieces doesn't really matter on the last day because I'm not going to collect an entire journal sequence anyways. So, guess you can't jump from the roof to there. So, we'll go check out this person's got a quest for us again.
From now on, anytime you like, visit me or the town board. You can take any tasks that suit your fancy.
That's just for the town board, I guess. Cool. Here's the church. Looks pretty awesome. One quest ready for turn in. Let's see. It's always good to check your journal. And I think that it's the innkeeper that I need. Because that guy, if you remember, he said if you go to this town and then tell the innkeeper there that he's going to send the Azoth that he owes her, that she'll give me enough to get back. And that's part of the quest line for getting that back. And this will happen to you occasionally, and that's okay if you get turned around.
Anytime you like, visit me or the town board. You can take any
It
tasks.
happens. Especially in a new game, especially in beta, don't really understand what to do. And once again, that's the advantage of watching something like this before launch, before you play. That way, when it gets time to play and you want to stay competitive and ahead of the curve, you already know what to do and what to avoid and how to play. And all you've got to work on is just the execution of it and putting the time in.
Hello there. Welcome to Everfall. Hold on. Do I know you? Or have you come from Windsward? I should hope so. I heard he's had an influx of new arrivals lately. Cheapskate probably didn't even give you the Azor to fast travel back, did he? I certainly will. You've become a real regular around here, haven't you? Hope this place is starting to feel like home. Say, though, are you more of a townie, or do you venture out into the great beyond?
So, there we go. That's what I was talking about. I talked to the innkeeper. She's like, oh yeah, of course he said that. Sure. So we've got a couple quests we can turn in. We can forge ahead to fishing basics. So I've pinned that on the map. And it looks like Castle Everfall is also out that way. I know in World of Warcraft, when you get your fishing level up to a certain point, you gotta do some fishing quests. I think it's like around 225, 275 fishing, something like that. And you go and do this quest out of the swamp or whatever, and you gotta go catch these exotic fish. I figure these quests are kind of like that for fishing, and that once you do the quest, you either get some gear that helps you be better at fishing, or maybe you can like fish some sort of fish you couldn't fish before. So I've got rabbits on the tracking, and rabbits have yellow diamonds over them, which means they're quest item mobs, but I'm just not killing them right now because I'm trying to stay focused. If you're looking for sheep, where we are right now is where there's usually sheep. See? Boom, that one. So these are the churro sheep that people say don't exist, and they do exist. It's just people hunt them into extinction on the beginning of the server because everybody's trying to do the same town board quest, which is to get the churro sheep. So if you keep all that in mind, this is where you find sheep, and if you're patient, you'll get it. If there's ever a mob that like you're having trouble getting over other people, like they're getting it first, that's why using a musket is really cool, because it's instant range damage. So you just kind of like lock that mob in as soon as you hit it, and a lot of the times they'll just attack whoever's closest to them. So if somebody else is closer to them when you shoot them, they're gonna take the damage for being closer because the thing's gonna attack them, and it gives you more time to shoot it, which is also an advantage. It's cool, like the musket, but I'm looking forward to later on in the game when it's at least like semi-automatic. Because this is like bolt action musket. Shooter stance. 20-second cooldown. Increases damage. Let's try it out. So you get a couple shots too. Nice. If you need a wolf exterminator, give me a call. So that one's cool because when you go down into your rifle stance, you get 3 shots without having to reload. So you could go headshot, 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 and then do 2 more headshots, and then you get a free headshot reload. It's going to be really hard to do well in PvP, but if you're good at keeping like a long distance, you will win because the musket has some really crazy far distance. Look at this. Look, do it. Killing it in 2 shots from like 100 yards. Still using the iron cartridges. It's a long road. Luckily, there's a lot of cool stuff to look at. Everfall. Increase gain standing. So we're just going to run along here, following the road. We're exploring. We want to try to find some new stuff before we run out of beta. We want to understand as much as we can. That's a soul spider. That's pretty cool. I have not seen one of those yet until that point. So that's something new. But we're going to keep exploring. We want to find all the super new stuff, all the cool things, at least up to like level 20 area. We're going to push it as far as we can, of course. That's a boulder. Got a call board for a town quest. So we're going to keep exploring here. This is heading back down towards the starting area for some people. Other people, it's not. It depends on what server you're on and where it starts you. Because there's a couple different starting spots. It's not always the same one. I know that because I've made multiple characters and played a couple different quest lines. The first one, I spawned where we're headed to right now, walked past all this, up to the town, Everfall, I think it was called, that we were just at. The second time, which is this character, Vengado, I started at a different beach, walked my way up a similar looking area, all the way up to westward. At least there's quest items on the way here. That's always a bonus. Nice. There we go. I am the boar exterminator. So this is a starting point, as you can see. There's always a lot of flint. Got the broken up pirate ships. Got these ghost fellas. Behringer's Boo, landmark, charted level 2. And it looks a lot like where we started, but you know that it's not because I'm getting discoveries for running through here. At level 20, Harpy of Behringer, landmark charted level 4. So this is 16 levels below. I'm running through all these guys. I don't think I'm pulling them because of the level difference. Jesus loves you.
Got these fish yourself? Shoes was right to send you in my direction to continue your
So here's the fishing quest
Who
guy.
wants to teach you? Hi there, I'm Master Fisher Ruby.
Get the fisherman's boots.
In freshwater, the more common baits you can acquire are snails, and in ocean water, clams. My colleague in First Light, Master Fisher Clemency, would greatly
We
appreciate
need a
it if
fishing
you would
master.
Don't tell her I said this, but she's been having some trouble getting bites lately.
Sounds intense. Alright. Let's see what we're gonna do here. I'm thinking fast travel might be the fastest way to go back. Just got a recall. Good deal. The loading screens are pretty fast in this game. Look at that.
Well, now, that was quicker than I expected. I hope it went all right. She wasn't too frustrated with me, was she? Of course not, but perhaps no more angry letters coming my way. Thank you for going all the way out there. As promised, here's a little more Azov. Oh, and you can keep your free room. Now that you caught a glimpse of Everfall, I trust you see how special Windsward is. The southern breeze will always lull you to sleep.
Cool. So at this time, somebody informed me in the comments that apparently you can leave all of your crafting materials in the shed and still craft with them. So that's revolutionary. I didn't know that. So that's good to know. I haven't verified that yet, but it seems legit. So the musket is level 21. I've still got it in the storage shed. Basically, my syndicate one is good enough. And I'm not 21 yet, so I'm just going to leave it in there. That way I'm not carrying it around, the extra weight. So we've equipped our steel cartridges. It's pretty far to run. So, personally, I would really recommend that we get mounts. I think that would be, if not mounts, at least run speed or something. Because Azoth is always going to be awesome to be able to fast travel and teleport. But getting the Azoth is difficult. Unless you're like level 30 and you can go to the corrupted areas and get the Azoth that way. I know you get some from just quests here and there, like 20, 10. But that's for the main story quests and the side stories, which I would focus on that stuff if you had like a laser focus on a quest line, I would focus on the main quest line because you're going to need to do that to get the Azoth staff anyways. But that's the whole point of the game anyways. I mean, everybody knows that with the main storyline. It's cool to try to get quests overlapping, like if you can get a couple in the same area or even for the same quest item or mob. So, are like these zombie people farming? Are they like growing vegetables? Honestly, that little area we just ran through seems like a ripoff of outside of Undercity in World of Warcraft, where they've got that undead that took over that farm area. But it didn't make sense. I guess like the Forsaken and the Undead are still like playable characters. They're like humanoids, but in this game, they're like zombies more than humans. Yeah, the arrows are cool. I guess one of the advantages to arrows in PvP is going to be that it's silent and that you can shoot multiple arrows and things like that. Where with a gun, like your bonus moves or whatever, power-ups or specials, whatever you want to call them, are not going to be as... They're not going to have the variety that the arrows do with archery because it's like a single bullet musket. It's always a good sign when you find two life plumes together or any of the other higher level harvesting. I've noticed they come in twos. Metals like iron and gold and silver, they tend to come in like threes and fours. Primarily it's like a 3 with a really large one. So that's pretty cool. I like that when you stop to pick something up, it's not like there's just one rock. Like here. Here's like a medium-sized iron vein. And then here's a, medium-large. Because there are ones that get bigger than that, so I wouldn't really qualify that as the large one. That's still like a medium-large. Nice apprentice miner unlocked. Doesn't really mean anything in beta. These are just accomplishing benchmarks as you level up. In the actual game after launch, it's going to be more useful to collect those things. I think this area is really cool. If I could live in an area, it would be something like this, where like a river, some forest, maybe some like mountain and waterfall. If you could get all that together, like right here, that'd be lit. zombies. Yeah, these things are not farming. They're like wild animals. What? Okay, so that move doesn't work great in this scenario. But we tried it. Yeah, that's the point of beta. I don't want to run down that way. It's all corrupted down there. Corrupted pirates. Not what I'm looking for right now. But there might be some good collectibles. There's lots of trees and rocks, and there's nuts and things. I figured that maybe we'd find some good metals in here. But it didn't seem to be the case, so. And that'll happen. You'll be in areas that are rich in one thing and don't have anything of something else. Oils like that. You only see oil in really specific areas. But when you get in that area, there's a ton of it. So there are some, actually I'd say most are like that because the developers are trying to be realistic about what's going on with the game. So, you know, the oil's not spraying up out of the ground like a geyser. It's kind of like soaked rocks. It's like a little pool of oil and rocks. At first I was like, what are seeping stones? I'm like, seeping what? So I mined it and it gave me oil and I was like, oh. So we're at Letham's Pick. This is Tangle Wisp. It's a kind of mushroom, I guess. Got some fungal slime, Tangle Wisp, some cookable mushrooms. Got our health back up. I like these little ghost towns and stuff. It would be nice to see towns that aren't like factions of people that aren't in cities that can be taken over and things. And what I mean by that is, like, if you look at other games, like there were barbarian villages in RuneScape, and nobody could play as the barbarians, and like it wasn't like something you could take over, but it was like an NPC city. And the NPC city can have like different purposes. Sometimes quest lines, sometimes you can fight them and they drop specific gear and things like that. They do that with like everything in this game is like undead that you're killing. It's all like zombies and stuff, animals and zombies. There should be more factions and then additionally like other races. And the races don't have to be playable. I understand everybody being human, but there should be like, you know, the whole king caboodle. You get like your gnomes and your elves and your fairies and goblins. Dwarves can come too, they're cool. All sorts of stuff. Maybe even get like you could even eventually introduce some type of aliens to this game. But like in this planet reality, in this timeline. Oh, that guy's smelly. We burned him, so he's just gonna, burn to death. And that's one of the cooler moves that we got here. The burn's a good one. So we're here looking to collect fishing traps. Fish traps. So we're looking for the 4-lac trap. And we get those out of the fishing traps. And they're found up and down the docks. And you'll usually see them by seeing a little circle that you can interact or pick something up. and you'll have to go harvest it. And unfortunately, this is like that dirt quest earlier, where you're not really going to see a visual of where the fish trap is. There's one here. Oh, interesting. There's one here. I believe it was off the dock, and it just is not visible. And it's also pretty easy to confuse them with like flint and other things. There's a lot of blight root here. If you're looking for death motes and such, this is a good area. Not sure what I'm doing here. So there's like all these fishing traps, but I can't collect any of them. And you know, just like any good beta tester, I just keep looking. There's one fish trap, so we're collecting it. There's clearly fish traps. There we got our fresh four-leg trap. We need one more. But just because there's traps in a boat doesn't mean, like here, that there's anything to collect. Or I missed it. It looked like there was a circle there. The recording did come out a little better than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be a little more, I don't know, glitchy, less smooth. It ended up coming out so smooth that it's actually, oh, here's one. And that's my point. It's just like, you don't see any fish trap there. But you'll have to find the interactive dot and hit the E button to collect it. So this is a cool village. I like this village. I think it's really neat. But like I said before, it's all corrupted undead zombie guys. You got wrecked. Got some Tango Wisp. And if memory serves me, I believe this is the area that you find the Sipu stones that you can mine for crude oil. I think they're over here to my left. And I'm not even sure. I don't think that I even found them this time. But that's where they are. We'll go back to them in the near future. We're back at Letham's Pick. We'll pull them all. Why not? I've noticed that mobs don't really follow you that very far in this game. Now this is a good place for iron. Here's the 3-piece. And we've got a small, medium, and medium large. And it makes sense because this is a Letham's Pick, which is mine. And I guess these guys are like another type of humanoid, but once again, they're like undead. It's just kind of uncreative. There needs to be more than just corrupted undead and animals. It's interesting that it's just. I mean, I didn't really notice it until recently, now that I mentioned it, but now that I've mentioned it and noticed it, I can't like unsee it. That it's just, there's a lot of undead. Unfortunately, I didn't get to level 16. I didn't even get to 30. But that being said, from going 1 to 20 something, 23 I think I get to, 22, 23, it doesn't show a lot of variety. And I did some good exploring here, and a lot of it seems kind of like copy paste. Of course, there's going to be expansions with a game like this. I wouldn't expect that for like 6 months to a year. Any sort of expansion. They'll probably have like seasonal or special events before they have an expansion kit, because they're going to want people to go like classic WoW. I think it was like a year and a half before the first X-Pack came out. I'm not certain, but in that time frame there, I would say 6 months to a year. If you could do it in like 9 months, or 8 months, like 3/4 of a year, I feel like that's the best timing, because it gives everyone time that can't play a lot to play the content, as long as it's not like a massive, depending on the size of the expansion, you know. I'd like to point out that these young trees that look like banana trees, they're like wood. In real life, if you cut them down, you wouldn't get wood from them, but they still count as wood in this game. I like that the overall geography and topography and vibe has like changed, but then here we come back to another big farm village where there's zombies growing vegetables. I don't really understand that. They've got houses. I could see how they all turn into zombies, but I mean, how recent did everybody turn to zombies? Because these crops are still here. And zombies aren't going to be able to take care of crops. This guy's just hanging out playing with dirt on the road. So, these cypress-looking trees are also really cool. They're the mature tree version in this area. So I do like how the landscape and stuff changes. We go to a couple different areas. They're most of the same, but there's some differences where if you've been to that area and you get acquainted with it, you're going to notice that, oh, I'm in this area because these trees look like this. Which is really cool for navigation and all that. So here's a settlement, First Light Village. I like this visually. I like this town the best. I like the big pirate ship, and now the town's put together. I think it's really cool.
Oh, well, hello, you. Are you the envoy from Windsworth, then? And you bring us stone blocks to boot. Well, what a pleasant surprise. Color me grateful, and even flattered, I think. Unfortunately, this is not the time. We have matters to straighten out internally here. When we're ready, however, I would like for you to be the one with whom I negotiate. I won't forget this gesture. Anytime you fancy, visit me, or the town board outside, and take any task that suits you. In the meantime, There's more you can do with these refined materials.
Cool.
Anytime you fancy, visit me, or the town board outside, and
It
take...
says that she's got a quest to turn in, but she doesn't. So we'll go find this guy at the bar. He's got a quest for us.
Crazy times. Everyone's bustling about, working together to strengthen the settlement. Gotta admit, I'm feeling a bit snubbed. No one's asked for my help. But it is! What can a daft barkeep contribute? That's what they're saying. It's not right. I got feelings too, you know. Maybe. I've been thinking of making a special brew. There's barley stores out in Dayspring Mills. It's good stuff. If you could get that barley, that'd be something.
This guy is a true foodie. He needs us to get that high quality food for him. It's interesting how the quest is formed,
I greet you in wisdom and mutual respect.
because he is offering us part of the food that we did for him. Like, why don't we just keep it? Once again, I like to get all the collectibles. Eventually I'll go back and I'll learn all this lore and check out the player housing.
Pardon me, my friend, but I must ask. Have you seen Watcher Fayed return from the beach? It's been some time, and I'm starting to worry. Oh, no, there's no time for personal matters. We have supply shortages here in Windsward. Food, clothing, and metals. I can't solve them all, but I do have an idea for the clothing. Quite so. There are 2 villages just over in First Light that were once famous for their weavers. Campbell's Rest and Clearwater Bend. If you happen by there, please see if any thread or textiles remain that we can use.
Alright, so we've got a good amount of quests. Make some iron, lose some weight, get some XP. Good deal. Got some stone blocks. The bull. Now at this time I wasn't aware that the storage sheds weren't connected. I was under the impression it was more like a bank, and I was under the impression that trading posts were more like the auction house. But I was wrong, and they only work at the city that you're in. I think that you can summon items from a different storage unit for a fee, but I'm not sure what that fee is. So I have a work order, and I need to make a bunch of iron. So I got 20 iron ore and 20 fibers. And I made a set of stalwart crude iron armor, which is for this project board quests. But not here.
Ah, now, it's good to see you. Still no word from First Light. It's discouraging. I haven't told anyone else, but our circumstances are
Windsward. So now I'm looking through the journal to try to remember where did I get that quest from. Getting familiar with a new game and all its controls is always going to take you a little bit. And that's another reason why watching other people play is sometimes really useful.
Holy piles of food, friend! You got everything on the list! I don't know if you're in it for a good meal or a rich reward, but you deserve both, that's for sure. You know what you are? A gastronomical crusader. Fighting the good fight for food everywhere. You're really an inspiration. Feels like I finally have someone I can rely on. I suppose, but it doesn't mean I'm not being sincere. Seriously, you're my favorite person. And this time, it's an opportunity to get a taste of spice and some good old-fashioned revenge. Well, I caught wind of a shipment of dried herbs and spices, but the caravan got nailed by the lost pirates of Buccaneer Falls. How about avenging that caravan and reclaiming those spices? It'll be tasty. Come on.
So we got some shoes for that quest, but they're only okay. Lose some weight by salvaging, and we've got quite a good amount of quests ahead of us. And I wanted to try to level up as far as I could, as fast as I could here, so I could learn as much as I can before the game shuts down. The reason why it looks like nobody's playing is I'm kind of like a night owl, and it's really early. Ooh. Speaking of pork, I recently got the Masterbuilt gravity-fed charcoal digital smoker. Oh my god. Everybody, if you can get one, go get one. These smoker grills literally make everything taste better and can cook it really slow and forever and get that low and slow marbly taste, or also cook it really fast to super high temp, like it can go up to like 700 degrees. I've been cooking pizzas in it. I make like a pizza, just toss it in there right on the barbecue grill. It's so good. You get that crisp and like crunch in every bite. And all the cheese and toppings are like nice and lightly browned, crispy. All the flavors are like bubbling when you pull it out. It's so nice. So tomorrow I'm making, well, I'll probably start really early in the morning. I'm gonna slow smoke a brisket for probably like 12 hours, maybe a little longer. That's gonna be so good. Can't wait. Buying eggs, but they're like really expensive. And at this point I didn't mind about burning my money because I just wanted to like get as many quests done as I could while I still could. I knew I wasn't gonna save up enough money in the last couple hours here to be able to purchase like player housing or anything. So I figured I'd just finish as many quests as I could, learn as much as I could, and maybe I could learn something how to make more money. But none of this carries over, so it doesn't really matter, which is why I was more inquisitive than like conservative. I really like how this boat's just like in the middle of their town. I'm not sure how it got up here. I'm sure somebody's got a story about it. This guy's cool.
Hitched your wagon to a faction, have you? Found your tribe? I suppose that means the settlement is safe now. Fair enough, but I'll let you in on a little secret. I had a dream, and it gave me a plan for the settlement's defense. A foolproof plan. Some people might call it crazy, but I think you might be up for it. All right then. We dig a trench around the settlement and fill it with gunpowder. Corrupted come, boom! Your part is just procuring the powder from the stores at Dayspring Mills. What do you say?
I think it reminds me of somebody like David Bowie or Bowie or the Bowie knife guy or whatever his name is. If you know who I'm talking about, put it in the comments. Because it's been bothering me. I can't remember what the name of the guy is that he reminds me of from real life. Nice. Get some alligators and some lynxes. Leveled up our first light reputation. And we're going to do 9.3% increase to standing gain and then also XP increase. And hopefully that lets us get our faction faster. Maybe we'll get another level. We are level 21 now. We just used the fast travel. Really, that was like recalling home. So we've got the cooks and the armor done. We'll turn that in. We've leveled up our Everfall faction. We're going to get 10 oil, get some tadpoles, and the other remaining quests from Everfall's town project board. And taking a look around, we don't have a lot of Azoth left. There's no more quests just for traveling places. But I still want to see if I can get to some new areas. So for Everfall, we've leveled up the XP. Just gonna go Dexterity doesn't really matter at this point. Once again, the game's a couple hours away from being turned off. They're actually talking about it in the comments. Cool, so thanks for hanging out. Give us a like, subscribe, hit me with the comments. I try to reply as fast as I can. And we'll see you in the next episode. Also, take care, have fun, and see ya.